Hi guys, so this video is about doubts, of which I have many, a lot in my life, and I just wanted to say that I think it's normal, and I think it's normal to be open-minded and not to think that you've found the absolute truth and now your mission is to enlighten everybody else to it because they're morons, everybody else except you who found it. And I also think it's important to have doubts, to be able to, grow. Um, some people don't seem to think it's good. They seem to think that the more confident you are of what you're saying, the more likely it is that you're actually right about something. It's not true. It's just not. And I'm gonna say it with full certainty, right? Because I've seen so many people. Probably you have too. They have a greatest degree of certainty. They're so sure of what they're talking about. They're so sure they got it right, and yet what they say is just bullshit. And a lot of idiots are very sure, and they don't have a slightest shade of doubt about what they're talking about. That doesn't prove anything. Rather, it proves that they don't do much thinking, because when you do a lot of thinking and when you do a lot of reading and you're getting acquainted with a lot of opinions on the matter, not just one, then you're gonna have to make some analytical work, uh, to compare, to look from different angles on the same subject, and to doubt your own current opinions, even though you dearly love them because they're your own, right? And you've been living with them for some time, and it's always not very pleasant to have to change your opinions, especially this ego thing that when you meet a person and a person enlightens you to some um, better opinion. Well, I don't know. Well, better. Let's just not pick on words, okay? Enlightens you to something you haven't seen, and you see it, and you think, shit, why haven't I thought of that? Why didn't I think of that? Also, in the process, you learn proper English and you grow and grow. Sometimes you're not, but tough luck. And we sometimes, or many times, or most of the times, we feel that well, it's a shame, that I haven't gotten to the same conclusion myself, and that somebody else is like smarter than me now. But it actually doesn't mean that. It can be a situation where you open somebody's eyes to something they haven't seen themselves, but it doesn't mean that person is stupid or that you're stupid, because we all think about different things, and somebody's right about that, you're right about the other subject, and that's how collectively we have discussions, and we maybe as a society arrive at some better conclusions than we had before, because people talk, they have discussions, they contribute to the process of finding the what's the word, not the truth, but I don't know, the ultimately best solution. um, yeah, I almost forgot to mention that just because I treat my own thoughts and conclusions with a certain amount of doubt, and I leave a door open for the other points of view, doesn't mean that anyone who can come along and say, okay, now you're not sure, but I'll show you the way because I'm sure, and I'm gonna prove it to you, and it's gonna be easy for that person to change my mind on some things that I hold as true right now. No, because I still have my opinions, and I have pretty strong opinions about certain things, and I'm gonna hold on to them until I see the good reason to change them. And if I don't see a good reason to change them, and someone's gonna say, see, you're not keeping an open mind, you know, it's not good enough. You gotta have a strong argument. You gotta prove your point of view, that it's better, that it's more reasonable, that I have left something out when I was arriving at my conclusion, and then I just might agree with you, or may agree with you. I hate this distinction in English language. Why do you have to have two words for the simple probability? No, there's no such distinction in Ukrainian or Russian that I speak, because if that hasn't happened yet, how do I know the likelihood of it happening? I just don't know, so we just only have one word, maybe, and it just means the probability. Maybe means I'm not sure, so that's it. So that's just for people who are thinking of improving English language for the future generations. See? Oh, shit, that wasn't a satanic symbol. You guys, come on. I'm not from Masonic cult. No. There's so much stuff on the internet these days. Just better believe it. Wow. Yeah, the subject of truth itself is very, of course, complicated because, uh, you're only able to acknowledge the truth that you're ready to acknowledge, that you're able to see, and by us not being able to see something, it doesn't mean that that something does not exist, uh, yeah, so also in regards to that, um, doubts and thinking and doubting is, I think, is necessary precondition to getting closer to the truth, at least, rather than just adopting some opinion, some belief that you like best, sort of like picking your favorite and then just living with it and defending this belief against any new evidence that comes your way and that actually could prove that you're wrong and your belief is wrong. Well, a lot of people mm, choose to live like that. And I guess it's their right, but also sometimes it has very negative consequences because those people who treasure their beliefs more than they treasure the process of seeking the truth, they can become very violent in defending their beliefs because it's something they value. They value the retention of the old beliefs, and they do not want to hear anything else, and they don't want to have competitors. And particularly, of course, you could talk about the religious beliefs and how religious wars get started. That's, of course, that's very sad. But it's not only it does not only concern the realm of religion. There are other beliefs that we hold dearly and that are very important to different people, and they sometimes want to impose those beliefs on the society. They want to prevent women from doing that, or men from doing this, or children from acting like that because they don't like it and they don't think that's the way things should be, having no other good explanation for why they want to demand that from others, other than they are sure that that's the right way and everybody else should be sure of that. Sad, again. Uh, when I was a teenager, I started reading some books, well, let's say philosophy, but some of it was philosophy, but not, I wasn't reading Immanuel Kant when I was 15 or something. I tried, I bought a book, and I looked at it and said, what's the man is talking about? What's that word? I closed it, and it's somewhere in my parents' house on a bookshelf, I didn't know why I thought I could read that when I was 15. But I was reading some other books, more popular, psychology and philosophy, and some mumbo-jumbo esoteric stuff, and somebody's views on life and, relationships and all this stuff. And I was just thinking to myself, wow, that's the truth. I found it. It's right in this book and in that book. Okay, the two books. That's all we need. People, why aren't you living by these books? Everything is there. It's so simple. And later on, when you start actually thinking more and reading more, you understand that it's only so simple when you're simple-minded. When you actually give it a little bit more thought, and when you approach it with a little bit more critical thinking, it ceases to be so simple and it becomes a little bit more complicated, more than you would want it to be. So another thing I wanted to mention in this respect is again this approach of the people who, let's say, who like religion, who like religious way of life. I think we could talk about two kinds of people. One kind, well, it's not a kind, it's like their preferred uh, course of action, tendency. Some people tend to look for the truth, and others tend to look for comfort. And these are completely different aims in life. And well, when some theists, for example, ask atheists or a person, choosing a belief system, want to become religious, and they ask representatives of some religions, they ask the same question, what does atheism offer? Although atheism is not a religion, but they usually they still ask about it, like, or what does Hinduism offer, or what does Buddhism offer? I mean, and they treat it like they are on the market, and they are choosing which fruit to buy, which one's better looking. And they think, is that the way you look for the truth? You look for what's better looking, what looks more appealing to you. Then you're assuming that the truth is like the tastiest and the most beautiful fruit there is. And why would you assume that? I mean, it's there's no reason to assume that truth is always comforting, or it's always pleasing, or it will I don't know, make your life so much better. Truth is truth. Sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it may be bitter. But when you're asking this question, you're already limiting the options, and it's like saying, well, I would really love to know what 2 plus 2 equals, but if it's anything below 55, I won't accept the answer. So good luck, but it's a little bit different than searching for the truth. It's searching for the answer that you will like. It's searching for ways to prove that the answer that you like will be the right one. So that's different. Um, so I guess yeah, one more thing I wanted to mention is that's why perhaps if you will be reading my blog, and once a year, or maybe I don't know what's the rate, you could notice that I sort of contradict myself. And well, probably it will not mean that. It will not mean that I have a cognitive dissonance in my brain. It will just mean that I've changed my mind. I do that quite a lot comparatively, quite a lot. I don't know if it's actually too often. I don't know. I would guess like every 3 years maybe I can change some of my core beliefs about reality, about life, my outlook on things. And so yeah, that happens because thinking about what life is, how people should interact with each other, who we are and why we are here, la la la. These questions, I have them in my mind, well, more or less constantly. And so that's why I can sometimes, it can seem that as though I'm changing my mind too often. But for a person who thinks about these questions only, 3 times a year, changing their mind like that would probably be too often, because why would you change your mind after thinking about the question 3 times only, and your mind change again? But I don't know, for me, if I'm thinking about it, virtually every day, and then once in 2, 3 years, I arrive at different conclusion, I think it's no wonder that it happens. Given the amount of time yeah, what I'm spending on these questions. So, well, I guess I'll keep this video relatively short. Thanks for watching and have a lot of doubts. Bye bye.